Your money under attack in America and around the world.
We are running on very, very thin ice.
Fear of another meltdown bubbling to the surface.
This feels like Lehman and 08. Get me out.
The debt threat in Europe. The downgrade in the U.S. Frayed nerves. Are we just one financial jolt away from another recession?
We're really at risk for a double dip.
Tonight, investors bracing for the world markets to react. Tonight, CNBC brings you the most powerful names in financial news to answer the question, is your money safe? This is a CNBC special report, Markets in Turmoil. Here now, Maria Bartiromo and Bill Griffith.
So what should investors expect from the markets tomorrow and in the longer term, and how will the U.S. downgrade impact your investments? Joining us now, Stanley Crouch. He is Senior Managing Director and Chief Investment Officer at Aegis Capital, and Jerry Webman, Senior Investment Officer and Chief Economist at Oppenheimer Funds. Gentlemen, good to have you on the program.
Welcome to be here.
Thanks for joining us. Stanley, your reaction to the downgrade, what kind of implications are you expecting in the markets tomorrow first?
Sure. Well, first of all, I think S&P telegraphed this very succinctly. They said exactly what they were going to do, and they followed through. In terms of the market reaction, it's not a good event. I worry more about the effect of on confidence. And I think that who went out and made a major purchase this weekend, who is going to plan on either initiating a business or hiring more people, this can't help that. But in terms of the futures, if we stay at these levels, this isn't a good thing, but it's not down 400
Jerry,
points.
I can imagine the phones were ringing at Oppenheimer over the weekend. What were you telling investors?
You tell people, investors who are average folks like ourselves, the most important thing to do in this kind of situation is to take a deep breath and realize that the best companies in the world, which we hope we're investing in on other people's behalf, the best companies in the world aren't worth 12% less today than they were a week ago. And to try to keep in mind where there really is growth, where there's opportunity, and, one opinion out of three doesn't change the whole world economy.
I wonder your reaction to what's going on in the currency market already. The corporate sector, of course, you make the best point, is some of the strongest parts of this recovery at all, period, with $2.5 trillion in cash on balance sheets. But what about the dollar? We saw the dollar hit a new record low over the weekend. Are you expecting the dollar to spiral downward tomorrow?
I don't think the dollar's going to spiral downward because, the only place you've really got to go, Swiss franc, and we'll talk about gold in a second, and Japanese yen, you've had interventions. The dollar strengthened against the yen last time I looked. So you've got interventions to try to keep those markets from spiraling out of control. You've got some ECB action to try to keep markets from spiraling out of control. The interesting thing to me is that with everything else down, gold is up today, and I think we need to get into that a little bit.
A safe haven play there.
Well, maybe not that. But
Jerry suggests that maybe the stock market sell-off is overdone, given the fundamentals in the U.S. economy, especially in corporate America, where balance sheets are improving, interestingly enough, and profitability has been pretty good for the second quarter. What would you do with the stocks right now?
Well, I think balance sheets have improved to this point. Again, if we start sliding back, if GDP continues to decrease, we're going to see that evaporate pretty quickly. I think that companies have hoarded cash, I think, just for this sort of event. So I think they've been reticent to hire, reticent to invest, just because we look at this as not only the world financial crisis of 2008, 2009, we call it, and its continuing aftermath, because this is really an unwinding of a credit bubble, and that could be a multi-year process. Those are generally in the past what they've been.
All right. Just what the Bible says, 7 lean years. It's right out of the Bible.
Yeah, wait till for the Jubilee year if you know what that's all about. Gentlemen, thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Great to be here.
See you soon.